Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, nice mask. Who's on that?
It says made in Wakanda.
Wow, exclusive.
You already.
So if it's made in Wakanda, that means maybe it's made
Black.
out of vibranium and
Hey, I'm gonna hope so. That good old Black Panther. I'm gonna hope so.
hey, you got to use the resources that are available to you, right?
Definitely.
And we know Wakanda's got the best resources out there. So,
All right, so I'm actually in Target, so I can definitely swing by the toy aisle. But I'm thinking, I don't even know, man. The line for Costco is back around the corner, so we came into Target to waste a little time and see if the line dies down. But I got to do it because I don't have any toilet paper.
for those of you just tuning in, we have Student Life and Activities Program Coordinator Shalil Hunt is on the front lines right now at the local Target, bringing you the scoop.
Oh man.
Show us around over there. What's it like? Is it crazy? What's going
Oh,
on?
you want me to go outside? I can go back outside. Let's go back outside. Let's. I was perusing through the toiletries and such at Target, but let's see if we can get you back outside. See that line for Costco. All for bulk toilet paper, people. Bulk toilet paper.
Amen. Important. Very important.
Oh man, I did not want to do this today, but it has to be done.
This is one of the few I consider essential orders of business is toilet paper.
Gotta be. It's gotta be. All right, so Target itself is not that bad, which is why we came in here. Um, just to waste a little bit of time, I guess. Uh, everybody definitely has on masks. All the workers, but there's not a sign on the door or anything. All right, so as we head outside, see we got nice people cleaning all the time, steadily. But if you can you see that? The sun is pretty bright.
Oh yeah.
All of those people waiting to get into Costco. And that's actually around the side of the building.
Oh wow, that's the line. So they have. Oh my God.
And it's a double line. So it's coming down one side and going back on the other side and still wraps around the building. Oh, wait. Target has a line too now. Awesome. See? You see, Joe?
Wait, do you
And
have
I'm
to go?
stuck
Do
outside.
you have to go back in that line now?
Yeah.
No, I'm so sorry. Oh my
It's cool.
God.
It's cool, buddy. It's cool.
No.
Hey, listen, man, this is how this works. And we social distance, so it's not a long line. It'll go quick.
Wow.
Yep, so people. There's lines. They get in everywhere.
Any other essentials you're out there for besides TP today, Shalil?
Uh, yeah, definitely some fresh fruits and vegetables. Some healthier snacks. Can't keep eating cookies and potato chips and frozen pizza and stuff. So some healthier items. Maybe another puzzle or two. Uh, a yoga mat. Definitely looking for a yoga mat. Um, and that might be about it. I'm out here, so I'm doing all of it. Hopefully, and if anything comes to mind. And if you guys need anything, feel free to let me know. I don't know how you're gonna get it, but I'll grab it.
Now let me ask you this. Um, these could be really trying times for a lot of people. Very anxiety filled times, stressful, wearing masks, waiting in line, people
Gloves.
people not being in the best of mood. Yeah, wearing all the PPE that we can to protect ourselves from coronavirus. What are some things that maybe you like to do to de-stress or to keep the mind whole during this time when it can be very stressful?
Okay, so I've always wanted to do yoga, but never found the time. So I guess now is a great time to start. I'll probably download an app when I get back. I play chess by myself. That's how you get better. When I want the challenge, then I'll play app on my phone against the computer. Adult coloring books are definitely a fave. I do it with Sharpie markers. You might want to use crayons or color pencils or something. Deck of cards, good old deck of cards, some solitaire. I know probably 4 or 5 different ways to play solitaire, but if I understand correctly, it's about 100 and something different ways to play.
Wow.
I'm gonna say have some patience, but I mean, what else do we have at this time? So sounds like a pretty good hobby to take up. And puzzles, puzzles are a personal fave also. So usually, if you're not really into puzzles, you get defeated by 100 pieces or something like that. But mine are 2,000, 3,000 pieces at this point. Um, and you can take them apart, put them together. You can glue them. They actually turn out to be pretty good masterpieces. A lot of them, depending on how you what you pick. I usually pick architectural places. Some of them I glue, some of them I don't.
Amen.
All
Well, today
right, but
we're good.
but I was saying I was thinking about some type of sewing or knitting. My mom knits, so it's a pretty time consuming self contained activity. So that might have been the last one. Yeah.
Excellent. We want to thank Miss Hunt for bringing us the field report today, April 15th.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We'd like to welcome you all to episode 4 of Essex County College Virtual Cafe. You just heard from Miss Hunt from Student Life and Activities out there at Target, getting some of the essentials, showing us what life is a little bit like on the outside currently.
Just a little bit.
So
Yeah,
today,
line isn't moving. That line for Costco isn't moving, but I'm not giving up hope yet. It's a lot of people.
all right. Well, today we're going to be bringing you a yoga workshop. This is beginner's yoga. This is stuff that you can do right at home. I advise that you set up your laptop or your device close to where you're going to be on the floor. If you're using a carpet, that's fine. If you're using a yoga mat, it's also fine. Just make sure you set up the laptop so you can easily look up and see the instruction. So we invite you to please take part in our meditation and yoga practice today, and hopefully it will bring you some peace to an otherwise stressful or different situation than we're used to, and hopefully this will get you on the right foot for today. All right? Please enjoy.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me. This is a half-hour introductory yoga class, and we are going to begin in a comfortable seated pose. For me, that's cross-legged. For you, it might be kneeling. Really sit whichever way helps you to soften and relax in the lower back, so there's not too much tension there. We want to have a nice, tall, long spine with the shoulders dropping down and away from the ears. We're going to start by closing the eyes. Palms can rest on the tops of the knees. And just connect to your breath. Centering and grounding yourself so that you can let go of the day you've had or anything else that might be on your mind right now. Allowing these next 30 minutes to really be all about you and your practice. Softening the facial muscles, grounding the hips, feel the breath flow in and out through the nose. See if you can get the length of your inhale to be just as long as the exhale. Maybe counting to a count of 4, 5, or 6. Slowly getting the breath to be longer and deeper so that you feel the chest and the belly expand as you breathe in, and you feel it soften back out on the exhale. This is the perfect time to set an intention for your practice. And really, it doesn't need to be anything complicated. Just ask yourself, why am I here? What am I looking to get out of this practice? And that will be your intention. And if nothing comes to mind, that's perfectly fine too. Releasing expectations that you have for yourself, for me, or for this class. Be open to possibilities. Let's bring our hands together at the front of the heart. Taking one cleansing breath together, inhale through the nose and out the mouth. Releasing the fingertips down to the floor. Next time you breathe in, reach the arms up overhead, bring the palms together to touch. And then exhale, let the arms soften back down. A few more times like this. Inhale, create space and lift. Exhale, settle it back down. Last one, inhale, lift up. And this time as you exhale, bring your right hand to your left knee, left fingertips behind you. Inhale to lift. And as you exhale, twist a little deeper by pulling your left shoulder back and opening the chest. We're not twisting at the hips, we're twisting from the mid to upper back. Pulling the lower belly in. Still breathing just as deeply as you did before you twisted. And slowly unwind back to center. Let's move to the other side. So 3 times. Inhale, reach the arms up, palms together. Exhale, soften down. Feel the rib cage expand as you breathe in. Exhale, soften it down. This is our last one. Inhale, lift. On the exhale, bring your left hand to your right knee and your right fingertips behind you. Find a little bit more length as you inhale, and on the exhale, twist a little deeper by pulling your right shoulder back. Notice if you're rounding or slouching forward, try to stay tall and lifted. Not going too deep in this twist just yet. Your final moment in the twist. And let's release, unwind to center. Grab a hold of your knees with your palms, stay seated. We're gonna take cat and cow from here to warm up the spine a little more. As you inhale, you're going to lift the collarbones up and squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. On the exhale, round the spine, drop the chin to the chest. A few more times, follow the rhythm of your own breath. Open on the breath in. And contract on the breath out. Always in and out through the nose. A few more. Get the nice stretch, even in the neck, all the way down into the low back. Engaging every area of the spine. Take your last one. Inhale, find some lift. Exhale, pull the navel in, drop the chin to the chest. Come all the way back up. Keeping our hands on our knees, just trace some large circles with the shoulders. So there's really no right or wrong way to do this. You can go as slow or as fast as you'd like. Just make sure you're still breathing as you're moving. So sometimes we have a tendency to hold our breath whenever we're engaging in more dynamic action. And we'll reverse the direction of the circles. Stretching into the low back, keep your sit bones grounded on the floor. And we'll lift all the way back up to center. Coming onto our hands and knees in your tabletop stance. Very important here that the fingertips are spreading wide. You want your index and middle finger to be pointing towards the top of the mat, and your knees are underneath your hips. If your knees are sensitive in any way, feel free to put some padding underneath you so you have a little bit more cushioning. In order to protect our wrists, we need to shift most of our weight into our fingertips and knuckles. So just be a little lighter here. This will be especially helpful when we're in poses like downward facing dog. Firm up your core, really strong through the belly as you pull the lower belly in and extend your right leg up and back. Your right hip is going to want to open up a little bit. See if you can drop your right hip down so the knee and the toes are pointing down towards the floor. Press and reach through your heel. Try not to let the belly drop down. Keep it super strong. And then lean the weight into your right arm. So if you'd like to challenge yourself further, left arm will reach. Bicep is along the ear. Thumb is pointing up. So holding this pose for a few breaths, you're going to feel your right glutes really start to fire up and engage. Back of the neck stays long, so there's no need to look up too high. Can you find that same steady fluid breath in and out through the nose, exactly like you had when we were seated? Take one more full breath like this. Keep your right leg lifted, but just drop your left palm to the floor. Right leg is still up. Let's extend our right arm up towards the sky. So this is a variation of side plank pose. Left hand and left knee and shin are on the ground. Right arm is up as you try to align your shoulder, one over the other. Right hip over the left. Squeeze the glutes, lift your right heel up a little bit more. Take one big inhale. And as you exhale, look down, bring your right hand to the floor and step your right foot forward in between the palms to the top of the mat. Feet are hip width distance apart. Align your knee over the ankle. Setting ourselves up for our low lunge. Arms reach up. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Tailbone is reaching down. Chest is nice and lifted as you press your hips forward and down. We're looking for a stretch into our left hip flexors. Find a little bit more lift. And looking down, fingertips come to the floor. Let's straighten our right leg to fold forward. Getting a little bit deeper into the hamstrings. If your hamstrings are really tight, definitely keep a bit of a bend in your knee here. It doesn't need to be perfectly straight. And if the floor is a little too far away, you can always grab a hold of a block or keep your hands on your hips. Being mindful of your lower back. Then slowly lift the chin and the chest up. Start to bend into your right knee again. Plant the palms. Tuck the back toes under so you can lift your left knee off the ground. Find your plank pose. Right foot steps back to meet the left. So it's up to you if you want to keep your knees on or off the floor. So keeping the knees on the ground is the same type of pose. You're still working your core, just a little bit more supportive. We're not here very long. Still pressing into the fingertips and knuckles. Take one breath. And as you exhale, let's lower all the way down to the belly. So elbows hug in. Point the toes back, press the tops of the feet into the floor. 3 baby cobras. As you inhale, lift the chin, chest, and palms off the ground. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. Exhale to lower. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Last one. Inhale up, squeeze the inner thighs. Exhale to soften. Palms come underneath the shoulders. Press yourself back up and let's come into a wide like a child's pose for about 5 breaths. Big toes together, knees apart. Press your hips towards your heels. Stretch the arms forward and soften the forehead down. Let's start to walk the palms back in and lift the chest. Back into our tabletop pose on our hands and knees. Firm up your core again, and this time the left leg will reach up and back. Keep that hip rotating down so the knee and the toes are pointing down. This is an internal rotation. Squeeze and firm up the glutes, and when you have your balance, right arm can extend forward. Keep pressing into your left fingertips. Stay strong through both shoulders. Reach through your heel, squeeze the glutes and engage the hamstring so that left heel can lift up a little higher. Notice if the belly is dropping down or if you're rounding through the spine. Stay long. Create a little bit more space between your right fingertips and your left foot. The left leg will stay up. We're just gonna bring our right palm to the ground and start to open up as you reach your left arm up towards the sky. So a variation of your side plank pose, stacking your left shoulder over your right and your left hip over your right. Squeeze the glutes, lift it up a little bit more. And then look down. Left hand comes to the floor. Step your left foot forward in between your hands to the top of the mat. Feet are hip width distance apart and knees over the ankle. We're coming up into our low lunge. Fingertips are spreading wide. Be careful not to let your chest stick up and out too much. So knit the front ribs in. Drop the tailbone down. Breathing into your right hip or right hip flexors. Coming into our hamstring stretch, release fingertips down, straighten the left leg and fold forward over your left thigh. Not worrying too much about how straight that leg is. Think instead of keeping your hips facing forward towards the top of the mat and finding that deep, steady breath. Lifting the head and chest off the ground, bend into your left knee. Plant the palms, we're meeting in plank pose, so choose if you want to have your knees on or off the ground. Keep spreading the fingertips wide, draw the shoulder blades down the back so the heart can extend forward. Squeeze into the thighs, inhale. Exhale, lower down. 3 more baby cobras, point the toes back. Inhale, chin, chest, and your palms lift up, back strength only. Exhale, lower. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, release. Last one. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, let it go. Bring your palms underneath your shoulders. Press your way back. Instead of going to our child's pose, we're going to take our first downward dog. So palms are shoulder width distance apart. Feet are hip width distance apart. Tuck the toes under and then lift your hips up and back. Go ahead and paddle the feet so the legs really don't need to be straight here. And don't worry too much about whether or not your heels are touching the ground. Instead, focus on lengthening through the arms, pressing the chest towards the thighs, and curling the tailbone up towards the sky. So creating that upside down V shape. And let's all bend our left knee a lot. See if you can straighten your right leg and reach through your right heel, getting a nice stretch through the back of your right leg. Relax your neck and let's switch sides. Right knee bends a lot, press into your left heel. And coming back to neutral, look forward towards the top of the mat. Take as many little steps as you need to get your way up there. Feet are going to be about hip width distance apart, maybe a little wider if you know your hamstrings are pretty tight. Bend your knees a little bit and fold over. Holding on to opposite elbows in your ragdoll stance, you can sway a little side to side or front to back. Shaking out the head, yes and no. Let's release our fingertips back down to the floor, bend your knees a lot more, and slowly roll all the way up to stand, inch by inch. Head and shoulders are the last to make their way up. Draw the shoulders down, palms face forward. Standing at the top of the mat, let's come into our mountain pose. So just bring your big toes together to touch. Heels are about an inch or so apart. Feel the tailbone lengthen down, lower belly is hugging in, so you have a lot of support in your core and in your lower back. Palms shining forward, fingertips spread wide, close the eyes. Come back to that same steady breath you had at the beginning of class. Maybe focus on your intention again. Hands come at the front of the heart. Bend your knees and drop your hips. Utkatasana, chair pose. Put a little bit more weight into your heels, less into the balls of your feet. Tailbone is reaching down, so there's not too much of a curve in your lower back. Sink down a little lower. Start to engage through the glutes and through the quads, building up some heat in the lower body. Now let's lean all of our weight onto our left leg and see if you can pick up your right leg off the mat. Still bending deeply into that left knee. Carefully, we're going to step that right leg all the way back, coming into our high lunge. So you want your feet to be about hip width distance apart or so. Back right heel is lifted off the ground. Left knee is bending generously. Arms will extend up overhead. So both shoulders and both hips are facing forward towards the top of the mat. Bend the left knee a little more to drop your hips. Take one more full inhale. And on the exhale, let's open to warrior two. So nothing changes in the left leg. You're just bringing your right foot parallel to the shorter edge of your mat. Left knee is still bending. Focus on pressing your left knee open towards the little toe side of your foot. Palms are facing down. Shoulders are staying aligned over the hips. Super strong legs. Let's reverse our warrior. Right hand down, left arm up. Breathe in deeply. Stretching through the left side of your waist. Inhale back into your warrior two. Let's come to extended side angle. Left forearm over your left thigh, right arm up and over. Feel your right shoulder pull and draw back as you open the chest. Notice if you're straightening your left leg. Keep bending it and dropping the hips as much as you can. Only looking up if it's okay for your neck, otherwise you can leave that out. Look down towards the floor. Let's bring both palms to the ground and we're gonna step back into our downward facing dog. Left foot meets the right. So at this point, we can take a vinyasa. If you wanna make this a bit more restorative and a little easier on your shoulders, feel free to hold this down dog for 3 breaths. Otherwise, as you inhale, let's come forward to plank. Exhale, lower all the way to your belly. Point the toes back, take your cobra. So chin and chest are coming up, hips are still on the floor. This is arm strength and back strength. Exhale to lower, and we press back to meet in our downward facing dog. So skip these as much as you would like. From our down dog, we're gonna look forward and take little steps until we come up to the top of the mat, taking our ragdoll fold again. So keep your feet as wide as they were the first time and let your upper body dangle. Maybe reaching for opposite elbows and swaying a little side to side. No tension in the jaw or neck. Fingertips can come back to the floor. Bend your knees generously and slowly roll all the way up to stand, inch by inch, until the shoulders can draw down and away from the ears and the palms can shine forward into your mountain pose at the top of the mat, big toes together, heels apart. Let's bring our hands at our heart, bend the knees, drop the hips, chair pose. Lean the weight back. Keep your chest elevated. See if you can bend the knees a tiny bit more. And then lean more weight into your right leg and right thigh. and then pick up the left leg off the ground. Focus on something that's not moving as we step that left foot all the way back to find our high lunge. So remember, the feet should be about hip width distance apart. You want to keep your shoulders over your hips, and then the arms will extend up. Bending the right knee a little more. Take an inhale to stretch. And as you exhale, open to your warrior two. Left foot parallel to the shoulder edge of your mat. Arms open wide. Notice if your right knee is buckling in, try to press it open a little more. And we'll reverse our warrior. Left hand down, right arm up. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle, right forearm over your thigh, left arm up and over. So the bicep is along the ear. You're pulling your left shoulder back to keep the chest nice and open. One diagonal line from your left fingertips all the way down to your left foot. Start to look down at the floor until both hands can come to the mat and you find your downward facing dog. So just like on the first side, feel free to hold this down dog for 5 breaths or 3 breaths if you'd like, or we move through our flow. Inhaling to plank, strong core. Exhale to lower, elbows squeeze in. Point the toes back and lift up to cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Shake out the head. And from this downward facing dog, let's bring our knees down to the ground. Swing your legs all the way forward and lower onto your back. So let's keep our feet about hip width distance apart. You want your knees bent, and if possible, when you reach back, you want to be able to touch your heels. You might not be able to reach them, but just think of having your feet pretty close in towards your hips. Relax the arms. We're coming into bridge pose, so press the feet down into the floor. Start to curl tailbone up, and then lift your hips, low back and mid back off the ground. Notice if your knees have started opening up to the sides. Keep them hip width distance apart. Relax your chest, your shoulders, your upper back. Let this be about your legs. Lift it up a tiny bit higher and very slowly unwind. So mid back, low back, and finally the hips come down to the floor. Let's cross our right ankle over the top of the left thigh. Keep your right foot flexed and feel the knee press away from you. If this is enough, stay as you are. Otherwise, you're going to pull your left knee in towards your belly, either holding on to the back of the thigh or the front of the shin. Try to soften and relax as much as you can in this pose. Give your leg one final big squeeze. And then the left foot can come back to the floor, uncrossing the legs. Let's switch sides. So this time left ankle crosses over the top of the right thigh. Keep that foot flexed and press the knee away. Stay here if you want to, or you're going to pull your right knee in towards the belly. Holding on to whatever is accessible. Keep drawing and pressing the shoulders away from the ears. Relax the facial muscles. Breathe into your left hip and left glute, inviting it to open up a little more. Give it one last big squeeze. And let's release. Making our way into Shavasana, our final resting pose. Take up lots of space. Palms facing up towards the sky. Allow the eyes to close. Make any little adjustments that you need to so that you can take these few moments of stillness and silence without having to fidget or readjust anything. Give your body the opportunity to integrate all the work you've done. Breathing any way that is natural to you.
Want to thank you for tuning in to Essex County College Virtual Cafe. That was a lovely yoga and meditation workshop. Hope you all were able to close your eyes for a little bit and get something out of that and do some of the practice. It was very, very peaceful. Shalil, how are you doing out there on the front lines?
Still out here. Making my way. I'll get there. Hopefully before it gets dark outside.
Hopefully, geez.
Good stuff though, good stuff. I like listening to it. It was relaxing.
Excellent.
Calming, if you will.
Oh, absolutely. All right, so we'll see you all here tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. We will be doing a virtual tour of the Seattle Aquarium. And
don't forget about tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 p.m., the presidential address to the college with our president, Dr. Anthony Monroe. That's going to be via Zoom. And your details for that should be in your email. If you don't have them, email SLAO@essex.edu and we'll get you that info.
All right, y'all. Have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care.